Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. Sport all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. Whole sports all plays.
All right, everybody, what's up? Welcome to the ASAP Afternoon Blitz. Today, it's Thursday, August 25th, 2022. Running a little bit late, but that's completely my fault, so I'll take the blame for it. But joined by Jay McLovin today. How's it going, Jay?
Hey, I'm doing well, sir. Lots and lots of things going on in sports. Glad to see you're out of your medicated coma and back in the land of the living.
Yeah, she woke me up. I was like, "Oh crap!" Everything was. She was in a hurry to get to work. I was trying to get ready for the show. It was a little hectic here for a minute. Well, real quick, Pearland Little League got a big win last night. Got a game today to try to get a rematch with the Hawaii Little League World Series. If you haven't watched, it's been fun to watch. There's a lot of good teams. Have a lot going on in other sports as well, but. What you want to start with this morning, Jay?
God, so much. First of all, Pearland, baby, playing it tonight. God, we got to get. Look, I can't think about Hawaii. You got to think about tonight, and then we'll worry about Hawaii later. But good things for those young kids. Good things for the state of Texas. Congratulations on what you've accomplished so far, man. Hey, let's start off with a Chet Holmgren real quick. Can we just start there and work our way around?
That sounds good.
So Chet Holmgren was in the Pro-Am and going up against LeBron James. You know how big LeBron James is. You know how real thin Chet Holmgren is. Well, he got a Liz Frank injury in his foot, which the Liz Frank injury, from what I have looked at, is basically he fractured the middle part of his foot. So he's going to be out for the season. There will be no Chet Holmgren for the Oklahoma City Thunder this year. And all I can say is I am so thankful that the Houston Rockets did not draft him or had the opportunity to draft him because, I know that the Rockets have been linked to him. They had thought about bringing him, if he was there and available, things like that. Of course, Paolo Banchero, Jabari Smith. We thought that might be the 1-2, and then Chet Holmgren could slide down to 3. But then they also had Chet Holmgren at number 1. So I'm glad that he went number 2 to OKC and he didn't fall to the Houston Rockets because, again, the guy's so damn skinny and he's so rail thin that I just don't think he can make it in the NBA, Gonzo.
Yeah, and that was our worry. I know we talked quite a bit before the season started or before the draft, and that was a lot of people's worries was his body going to be able to hold up in the NBA and with it being more physical than college. Even though the NBA isn't as physical now as it used to be, it's. I mean, you still have to have some strength. I mean, these guys are grown men, and he still has that boy body.
Yeah,
and he has to grow into it. Like I said, he's like my size but 7 foot tall, and that's just not a great combination.
No, it's really not. And Rob Scott, he had put a post on Facebook, and I totally agreed with what he said. He, basically was saying like. You got people like Holmgren making all this damn money, go out into a Pro-Am, lose your whole season. Now you're out. I'm like, at some point these owners got to take care of their investments, but at the same time, I'm okay with them going in these Pro-Ams because when they're playing up against the likes of LeBron James and things like that, that's game time experience that these young guys kind of need to face before they go into the actual NBA season, so they can see what the competition level, is going to look like. Because all they've seen is two things. They've played the NCAA players, and they played against the, I don't want to say scrubs, but you're going up against less talented guys in the summer league or even in the G League. So to go up against actual NBA talent before you even hit the season, to me, is a good thing, because it gets you better. Paul Banchero, things like that, doing this. I wish that Jalen Green and I wish that Jabari Smith was in this pro-am, because the experience in the beginning is invaluable. Now, again, Chet Holmgren, hey, it is what it is. He took an injury, but he's going to take an injury most likely in the NBA anyway, because of just how thin he is.
Well, not just that. You can get an injury doing anything. But being that this wasn't like the NBA Summer League or a G League or anything, could they void his contract? Sometimes they have stuff that if it's not like basketball related or not related to that team, if you get injured, they can try to take some money from you. Is this a situation where they could try to do that to him, since this was almost like a rec game, like Rob said, or
And that's a good question.
I wonder how that works.
Yeah, that's a good question. I think you'd have to look at the verbiage of the contract to see, whether or not he would lose money or not lose money. Without actually seeing the contract and what it stipulates in the contract, there's really no way of knowing. I personally don't think OKC is going to take money away from him just because he got injured in a pro-am. I don't think, because I don't for one think that if that verbiage was in there, that he's going to be playing. I think if they had some sort of stipulation is, for example, hey, if you go to a pro-am and you get injured, we're not paying you. I don't think that you're going to see Chet Holmgren at the pro-am. I think if that was the case.
Yeah, I would hope so. That's what I would think too. I would hope so. Because I know like the Padres, they could have avoided Tatis Jr.'s contract when he got hurt in that motorcycle.
Yeah,
wreck, because it was in his contract, like a non-baseball injury which they didn't, which I'm kind of surprised, especially with everything else that's happened. But I mean, yeah, these players, you got to be careful when you sign them contracts and make sure what's all in them, because sometimes you can go do other stuff and not really think about it, and it could cost it. It can not only could you get injured, it could cost you all your money as well.
Yeah, for guys that are out there doing, these dangerous, sports and things like that, I get the adrenaline rush and I get that you want to participate, but at the same time, you got to realize your livelihood is at stake if something goes wrong. And I tell you, I got to be honest with you, I don't think I'm going to jeopardize my livelihood until after I'm done playing sports. And then I might, go do something a little off the wall or whatever, but I'm going to make sure my playing career is done before I think I do that. Just because once, like you said, if you get any kind of slight injury like that could be career ending, I mean, there goes your livelihood. And I just don't know that it's worth losing your livelihood over.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't think it is either. I still say it's LeBron James's fault that he got hurt, but hey, that's just me. No, it's not LeBron's fault. I just like getting people fired up about it.
Oh man. I know. And again, I didn't see the injury. I didn't see how it happened, but I just know when you got a man of LeBron's size and you go up against a guy of Holmgren's lack of size, bad things just tend to happen.
I think he stepped on. I think he came down like on LeBron's foot, like stepped on LeBron's foot, or LeBron might have came down on his foot. 1 to 2, something like that was what happened. It was just one of them where like they went up for a rebound and it just landed wrong.
I heard it was a rolled ankle, but
yeah,
again, if you're breaking the middle part of the foot, it's hard to see how a rolled ankle would lead to that unless there was pre-existing issues in that foot before that even happened.
Or maybe
it says right here, Holmgren, the number 2 pick in the draft, suffered the injury early in the crossover pro-am event while defending LeBron James on a fast break. So, yeah, I mean, it could have been a rolled ankle. I mean, I guess, it doesn't really go on to specify just how exactly, it happened. But, oh, somebody's not happy over there. It's funny. I think Blue hears your dogs, and now he's like, "What the hell? Where are these damn chihuahuas at?"
Well, choke that little dog, man. And people, I'm really not going to choke my dogs. Don't call the animal protection or anything on me. He'll be all right, but he just does this. Oh, hey,
Gonzo, what you got going on over there?
I don't know. I think the boy might have just came in the house. Somebody pulled up outside and he's going crazy.
Yeah, I'm just looking at this, and it doesn't really go on to say exactly how he messed up that foot. Yeah, it doesn't really say a whole lot. It's not giving a whole lot of information on that.
It was just it might have been injured before. I don't know, but it was. Oh
man, sounds like my wife when I don't go to bed on time. But anyway, having said that, it's interesting. And again, it doesn't even say, it's 7'1", 195. I mean, and the thing about it is Yao Ming had bad feet problems. Yao Ming fractured his foot on more than one occasion. That's actually what led to his retirement from the NBA. Was he was having back problems and feet problems, but more of it was his feet that got him out of the game of basketball than anything else. And he like I said, he fractured it on more than one occasion. And I kind of see similarities between Yao Ming and Chet Holmgren. That this is the first step. This Liz Frank injury is the first step, but I wonder if there's going to be more feet issues going into the future with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Also, Rick Smits. That's what shortened Rick Smits' career for the Pacers. Another big man, and it was his feet. Started getting a lot of feet injuries, and once them. I think that's common in some big guys to have feet injuries, and it seems like that bigger guys like that have a lot of problems with their feet. Maybe sometimes their knees, but for some reason feet. I don't know if it's just because they're so big, it puts a lot of pressure on your feet. And if you think about it, the bones in your foot. I mean, they're not real thick bones, so they probably don't take a whole lot to break one of them bones in your foot because they are pretty thin bones, really, compared to most of the bones in your body.
Yeah, absolutely. And it looks like he probably most likely did roll that foot because it goes on to say the game was canceled in the second quarter because of the condition of the court. The unusually humid day in Seattle combined with a full crowd caused repeated wet spots and condensation. So Presti said he did not consider the condensation to be a factor in Holmgren's injury, but however, I would not be surprised if there was still some condensation on that floor that caused him to roll that ankle.
Have you ever tried to play basketball at a court that has a little bit of condensation on it? Oh man, you slide everywhere.
Yeah,
I agree. I could really see somebody getting hurt like that because I've been in the gym when it's been real humid and everybody's sweating and stuff, and you hit a little slick spot on that them gym floors, man, your foot will just go right out from under you quick.
Oh yeah, and to answer your question, well, first of all, what's up, Frankie, Damian? Hey, I don't know if they're completely stupid games because again, and I'm gonna tell you why they're not stupid games. The Thunder will receive an insurance reimbursement of 80% of Holmgren's per game salary, which is going to equate to about $4 million after he misses 41 games this coming season. So again, it is a sanctioned event.
Is that money coming out of Holmgren?
No, it's going to be the Thunder will receive an insurance reimbursement of 80% of Holmgren's performance. I don't know where their reimbursement. It's an insurance reimbursement, so I would imagine that that means the Thunder must have had an insurance policy or had insurance on Holmgren that would pay him that. Or it could have even been, let me see here for a second.
They're not taking money from Holmgren then.
No, because it says the NBA considers the Pro-Am a sanctioned activity, meaning Holmgren's future earnings will not be in jeopardy if he
Okay.
does not fully recover from the injury.
So that's why he's playing it, because it is considered a sanctioned event. So, okay. That makes more sense now. I mean, that even makes more sense.
So it's not like it's a stupid game. It is an NBA sanctioned game, but again, it could affect him in the future. We'll have to wait and see. But
it's good for him to be out there playing with guys like LeBron and getting used to playing like that. But it just sucks that you had an injury, and it just happens. It can happen doing anything. But
absolutely, it could.
Having a floor with some moisture on it like that could really, that's dangerous.
And it certainly doesn't bode well for them, because honestly, I mean, that was their number 2 pick for OKC. I mean, that's just another tragic scenario that comes out for them guys. Damian, why are you stupid, bro?
Yeah, Frankie. I love Frankie.
Man, what a time to be alive. But yeah, again, my thoughts go out to Chet Holmgren. I hope he gets a speedy recovery. But that's how sports are, right? I mean, any sport is like that. Look, you're not guaranteed anything. You can go out there and get hurt, just going from the tunnel to the damn field. I mean, anything can happen in sports. I mean, that's why they get paid all that money, right? Because you just never know.
Yep. No, exactly. That's 100% true.
Excuse me. So looks like Brady's going to play in the preseason finale. What do you think about that?
That surprised me. I was just reading that, and I'm like, dude's been out for 11 days for personal reasons. I know he's practiced all this week. It just kind of surprised me that they're going to even take a chance of putting him out there in a preseason game. He probably won't play much. They say he's going to play. Why do you think he plays? Maybe one series?
I give it maybe 1 or 2 series at best. I'm just surprised, that they're going to play Brady in a preseason. I don't think, he's 45 years old. I don't think I want to jeopardize anything during the preseason. I think at most, I just want to save him for the regular season. I don't think he needs those kinds of reps. I don't even think the players need those kinds of reps. The only one that could use the reps, maybe Julio Jones, being the first time he's playing with Brady. But at the end of the day, these guys are all professionals. And as long as you're at your spot where you need to be, the ball's going to be there. I don't think I'm risking Brady at all, Yeah,
I wouldn't either, but hell, the Colts are talking about playing most of their starters for maybe the whole first half against the Bucks on Saturday. So, I don't like that. So I don't know what's going to happen in this game.
And I get that. He says he's probably getting his arm loose. I don't think you got to play a damn preseason game though to get your arm loose. I think you go out there and you get your throw-in reps with Julio or whoever it may be, and I think they get your arm loose. I just think it's, to me, it's, a freak injury is a freak injury. And it can, one season or one series, 2 series. I mean, you don't know when it's going to happen, but, are you really going to risk that? They don't really have a backup plan if he gets hurt.
Well, that's why I'm worried about the Colts, because the Colts played all their guys for the first half. You just already lost your punter, Sanchez, for the whole season with an injury at practice. So why put your starters out there and even take that chance? A little over a week before the regular season starts. It just don't. To me, it's not worth it, and especially a guy like Brady. I'm not putting my franchise quarterback out there. Like, if I'm the Colts, I'm not putting Matt Ryan out there during that game. Why?
Right.
It does me no good. He gets hit and gets hurt. Our season's over.
Well, I mean, take Zach Wilson, for example. He's going to miss the first 4 weeks because he got injured in preseason. I mean, I just, you got to be careful, with your starting QBs when all you really need in preseason anyway is to evaluate the talent that, you brought in that you're not 100% sure about, because 3 preseason games is not a lot of time to really evaluate talent before cutdowns. And I think those 3 games are absolutely critical to see what you have beyond your starters. And that's why I don't think in those three games, I'm playing my starters. Honestly, I'm going to rest them. I'm going to evaluate what I got behind them, so that way I can make the right cutdowns to put, my depth behind the starters in place. And I just don't see the point of risking starters when that's not really what you need to be looking at in preseason.
No, I agree. I if I'm a coach in the NFL, I'm just playing the guys I have to play, the minimum amount of guys I got to play to get through these preseason games. I'm not putting none of my starters out there, especially any guy that if he gets hurt, I know it's going to be a big loss to the team. I'm not putting any of my guys like that out there. It's not worth it. That's why I still think the NFL needs to shorten needs to do something with the preseason because it sucks seeing these guys like Thibodeau going to be out 3 to 4 weeks at least with the ACL injury, and like you said, Zach Wilson. It just sucks seeing these guys get hurt in games that don't mean nothing, and then that affects the games that do mean something that start here in about a week and a half.
Yeah, I got to be honest with you, Damien. I didn't catch. I know that was probably available there on First Take this morning, but I did not catch all of that interview, so I didn't know. I'm not sure what their top 5 list consisted of to be able to comment on that. I was trying to look for it and I couldn't. I don't see it here. I'm sure if I look a little further, I could probably find it. But more importantly than really that top 5 list, let's be honest. Cowboys just lost Tyron Smith for what looks to be until possibly December.
And Damien, the way the NFL is now, you don't have to play your starters in the preseason to see how they're going to do because guess what? They have joint practices. So last week, the Colts practiced like 2 days joint practices with the Lions, and you see your starters against them the whole time against the other team. That's why you see less teams even playing starters in the preseason. And that's why, to me, preseason is obsolete now because you're doing these joint practices. That gives you a chance to see how your young guys perform in a game situation against another team. So the preseason is almost coming obsolete because of the joint practices. And that's why all the coaches are they're more worried about the joint practices than they are the preseason.
So it looks like Tyron Smith jacked up his hamstring, so he's going to be out until December, which is going to be interesting to see how Dallas fills that hole on the offensive line that he's going to be leaving. I'm curious to see if they decide to go with an in-house, backup, or if they try to go out and capture up, an offensive tackle on the free agent market. And I don't even know if there's really anybody out there because I know Dwayne Brown just signed on with the Jets. So I don't really know who out there you could bring in via free agency that you could plug into that spot. At this point, I think you just look at what you have currently, in your organization and try to promote up that way. I mean, you could possibly look to see if anybody's willing to make a trade, I guess. But again, who would that even be? I know Tunsil for the Texans has been rumored a couple of times I've seen, but I think his asking price is going to be way too high, and I don't think Jerry Jones is going to necessarily bite on that.
Yeah, that could be a big loss for the Cowboys, especially going into the start of the season, losing a guy like that on your offensive line because he's not just your normal offensive lineman either. He's going to be a hard guy to replace. I mean, so it's going to be interesting, especially because if that offensive line don't protect Dak, the Cowboys could be in for a long season.
Yeah, it looks like they have a couple of options. They could put Tyler Smith over at left tackle. Smith came out of Tulsa, started 21 games at left tackle the past 2 seasons. But again, he's got a lot of penalties, man, and that's the only downside to him is he is penalty prone. And of course, Tyler Smith was taken in the first round of this year's draft. Otherwise, the only other thing they could do if they didn't want to go with Tyler Smith at that position is they could move Steele over to left tackle, put Josh Ball and Matt Waletzko and Avante Collins at right tackle. One of those 3 guys with Zach Martin as your last resort at right tackle. So they have a few options within their organization that they could do there, but I think probably Tyler Smith, giving him a look-see and seeing what he does in the first maybe 1 or 2 games, and they're going to have to play around with that offensive line until they get the right combination of one of those guys until they get Tyler Smith back. And that's a hell of a thing to do when your first opening day is against the damn Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Okay, Damien. I understand that a joint practice is not a game, but you're trying to tell me that the reason that they play a preseason game is so they can show their fan base what the team looks like. 90% of fans don't even watch preseason games, so that makes no sense. The NFL ain't worried about the fans seeing what the team looks like. That's not why they play preseason games. They used to play preseason games to look at their young players. Now they can do that in joint practices. And that's another reason you're not seeing as many starters play. It has nothing to do with the fans. They can care less about the fans seeing what the team's going to look like.
Man, look, you ain't starting no damn start. Look, you already know what your starters could do, Dame. You saw what your starters could do last damn season. I mean, what are we talking about starters for? You got 3 games to get that 80-man roster down to 55, and you're going to worry about playing starters when you don't even know what you got on the other 30 players that are on your roster that you don't know anything about until you see them in game action. Come on, Damian. Come on, use your brain. Let's go. Use your brain. Oh, man.
Lakers add Patrick Beverly from the Jazz. What do you think about this?
It's interesting. So they gave up Tucker Horton or Horton Tucker, whatever his last name is, THT. That's how I know him as. Taylor Horton Tucker. There you go. They gave up him to the Jazz to bring in a Patrick Beverly. I'm okay with bringing in a Patrick Beverly because I think, like I said earlier, he doesn't have to shoot the ball. All he really has to do is disrupt the offensive flow of the other team on his defense, and then be there to facilitate the offense, and just stay within the organization. He's not going to shoot a 3-pointer. He's not going to turn the ball over like a Westbrook. So me personally, I think having Patrick Beverly as your starting point guard, in my opinion, is going to be more effective than having Westbrook. Not to say that Westbrook's a bad player, but let's be honest, Westbrook's triple doubles usually come at a really crappy low field goal percentage or turnovers. So I think you're going to limit the turnovers. You're going to limit the giveaways by putting a Patrick Beverly in there and allow LeBron and AD and the other role players to do their jobs. As long as, again, AD and LeBron can stay healthy, it allows them to do their jobs. And you might get a little bit better chemistry with a Patrick Beverly than you would, having Russell Westbrook. Even though I know you're paying Russell Westbrook damn near, 47, 48 million.
Yeah.
But, if you can't trade him, what are you going to do? Are you going to continue to play him and then have your team, not be able to reach its full potential? Or do you put Patrick Beverly in and let's see what they can do? It sucks.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised though if Westbrook and Beverly are fighting by before halfway through the season. Them two might be in a fight in the locker room or on the court or somewhere because they don't excuse me they don't like each other anyway. And now you're putting them together, and it's probably going to be Westbrook riding the pine. I could see some. With Beverly, the way Beverly likes to talk, I could see them two going at it. Yeah, it could be something fun to watch.
Well, and I guess to answer Damon Hernandez's question is, people go to preseason games because they're fans of the team. Number one, number two, if you want to make a legitimate case for preseason games, and I guess on the negative side of things is why are they charging full price to see non-starters play. So the solution I'm saying is the preseason is exactly for what me and Gonzo said it's for, to evaluate those who are on your team that you're not sure about. However, in a comma, the ownership should say, okay, we're going to only charge you half price since you're not getting the starters. I'm only going to charge you half of what, a ticket is worth. So that would be my solution to that. But again, people go to preseason games because they're a fan of the team. Let's just be honest.
And some of the fans there at preseason games, if you don't know, when you buy season tickets for a team, it includes their home preseason games as well. So a lot of them are season tickets holders. They go to them games because
I didn't realize that. That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, because like when I had season tickets for the Colts it was back in like 2000. But you got when you got season tickets, it was for 10 games. Your 2 home preseason games, and then the 8 home regular season games.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't realize that.
So all the season ticket holders have preseason tickets. So that's some of the fans that you see because you've already paid for them as part of your season ticket package. So why not go?
Oh, no. If it's part of my package, you better damn believe I'm going to be there. Absolutely. Absolutely. I thought it was interesting. So on First Take today, the part that I did capture had Stephen A. interviewing Jerry Jones, and Jerry Jones called Stephen A. a fraud, that he's an undercover Cowboys fan, and it's okay. You can come back home, and we'll accept with open arms. I just thought that was
because the day First Take was there in Dallas, wasn't it?
Yeah, they were in Dallas, and Stephen A. was on set with Jerry Jones.
I forgot about that. I didn't watch. Of course, I was knocked out from that medicine, so I didn't watch it. But I'd like to see that.
But I'll be honest with you. Well, I was not exactly happy with Jerry Jones' comments, and I understand I understand what he was saying, but at the same time, come on, Jerry. Stephen A. asked him basically like, what coach you thought out there could get them, where they needed to go, and he said he believed that Mike McCarthy is the guy that can get the Cowboys basically to the Super Bowl, because where else would you be trying to go? And he said if he felt there was somebody else out there that was better that could do that, then he would have brought them in. And I'm like, Jerry, that's the biggest pile of horse manure, for the word I really want to say, that I've ever heard in my entire life. Because you don't possibly believe that Mike McCarthy is the guy that can get you. There's no way I believe that Jerry Jones, in his heart of hearts, really believes that.
I don't know, because Jerry was sold on McCarthy when he hired him, man. I think Jerry believes that McCarthy can get him a Super Bowl. I'm not saying it's smart to believe that. Don't get me wrong.
No, I know.
To believe that, but I'm just because it was a weird. You have to remember, McCarthy went and stayed the night at Jerry Jones's house, had a slumber party.
Oh yeah. At some point, I believe that when Jerry Jones first took over this team back in the 90s, I thought he was a very innovative guy. I thought he was going to be he was just a different type of owner way back when, in terms of bringing in the right people, making the right decision. Now I look at the 80-year-old version, the 70-year-old version of Jones, and it's just like, bro, you are so out of touch with reality. It's ridiculous. It's time to turn the team, number one, over to Sean, and hope that Stephen Jones can make the right decisions, because Jerry I just feel like Jerry is more of a disservice to the Cowboys than he is a help. You know what I'm saying? However, as I speak out the side of my mouth, they are worth $8 billion damn dollars. They are the most valuable franchise in all of sports history. But just because you're the most valuable doesn't make you the best. And unfortunately, that's kind of where Jerry's lacking. He's great on the business side of the Cowboys. He's excellent. But when it comes to, winning Super Bowls on that side of the Cowboys, he's just horrible.
Yeah. They've not been able to have that playoff success like they had years ago.
Right.
And what you said is right. It's hard to argue with Jerry Jones though, because look what he's built. They're the most valuable franchise in the sport, and
right.
So it's hard to argue with that. Has it always led to winning? No. But even when they're not winning, they're still one of the most popular teams around. So, and I mean, when they're losing, everybody's talking about the Cowboys. When they're winning, everybody's talking about the Cowboys. So no matter what, the Cowboys get talked about. So he's done something right. But yes, I do kind of think that when he does move on, I think Dallas will have a better chance to win. Just because Steven might not be the best at the GM, but he also isn't always out on the radio and always out in the press and all that other stuff where that causes some distractions. I think that stuff will go away.
Right. No, I definitely agree with you. I definitely agree. And here's the deal. And Frankie gets mad at when I say this, but look, number one, Gonzo, it's not sport. It's sports with an S.
I know. As soon as I said it, I was like, damn it, I should have said sports.
But, hey, and the reason why I say that is, and the reason why I say they're America's team, even though Frankie doesn't want to hear that, when you're worth $8 billion and there's no other franchise in any sport that's more valuable than you are, that makes you America's team, because the people are the ones that are spending the money that makes you that damn valuable. So the people have spoken, and here's the deal. But people say, well, a lot of people hate the Cowboys. Well, you know what? Here's the deal. Love and hate are the same damn emotion, opposite ends of the spectrum. So as much as you may hate them, the fact that you're talking about them makes you love them, makes them America's team. Now, if you get to the point of indifference where you're not talking about them at all, well, then, okay, you got a point. But as long as you hate them, that means you love them. So let's think it for a minute. Gonzo's like, fuck you, Jay.
Oh, no, I know 100% what you're saying. Plus, you had said this the other day when we was talking about something else. I forget what we was talking about now. But no, that's what it is. But it was just the same thing. Think about the same thing with New England Patriots. People either love the Patriots or they hate the Patriots.
Or they hate them.
The Patriots have been so good for so long.
I thought it was interesting. I saw on ESPN the other day where Dana White gave Bill Belichick the UFC belt. Did you see that?
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of funny when that's the first time I've ever seen Bill Belichick with a smile on his face. As he's parading around the locker room in his UFC belt. I thought that was interesting. Gallup isn't going to be back for a hot minute. It looks like Jerry Jones was saying Gallup's not going to start this season. He's actually going to be on the PUP list as the season starts up. So that makes me wonder then, how long is it going to be before we actually see Gallup back on the field? After he torn that ACL. It says Gallup started running routes last week as he stepped up his rehab. So he is doing good with his rehab. But, there's no way of really knowing how many weeks he's going to be out. So with that being said, that means CeeDee Lamb, as we know, is going to be the number one. Probably Tolbert will be the number two guy. It was going to probably be Washington. But as you know, Washington was injured in training camp. So he's out, I believe, for this season. So you got Tolbert, and then you're going to have probably a slew of other guys that, not many people are going to have an idea who they are, be honest with you. So you're going to have Schultz, Tolbert, CeeDee Lamb as your three primary targets, with a couple of other guys that nobody's really going to have any idea who they are until the season starts, along with obviously Pollard and Zeke in the backfield, with an offensive line that's going to be shuffled around more than a kid going through the foster care system.
Let me ask you this, Jay. How much trouble are the Cowboys in going into the regular season?
A lot. And I say that because there's so many unknowns.
I mean, you think it's a lot?
Yeah, I do. I think it's a lot because, again, there's so many unknowns, right? The offensive line's an unknown. Can CeeDee Lamb, be the number one guy? And if he's double teamed, who's going to step up behind him and garner the weight of the offense? And again, with that many, new wide receivers, there, that leaves a lot to be concerned about. So I think there's going to be a lot of trouble there because, again, if it was Gallup, CeeDee Lamb, Tolbert, okay, Gallup will probably CeeDee Lamb might get the double teams, which then puts Gallup in a great position, or Tolbert in a great position in a slot or the number two guy to make those catches. But without a good number two and all you got is a slot and a number one, to me, that raises flags, especially when your offensive line, you don't even know what you have in the offensive line because you're going to be moving them around until you find the right combination. So that's a lot of damn what ifs.
Who is Dallas's tight end? Because whoever he is, he's going to have to step up.
It's Dalton Schultz.
Okay, Schultz. Yep.
Yeah. So CeeDee Lamb is questionable as of right now. Michael Gallup is out. Noah Brown, which again, I don't know anything about Noah Brown, or Dennis Houston, or Brandon Smith, or Kavontae Turpin. I mean, they're just ends and ends of guys who. I know Simi Fehoko is a guy they drafted in the late rounds, but quite honestly, their damn, wide receiver core is almost a damn unknown. So yeah. I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know what to make of this because, like I was telling you, there's just no way of knowing. Not until you get into the season. I put Dallas, if I'm being honest, I put Dallas as a wild card. I think, like Stephen A. said, and even though I hate hearing it, but it's true, I think the Eagles will probably nab the division. I think the Cowboys will get the wild card, and then everything's up in the air after that. Hopefully we get Gallup back at that point. Hopefully we get Tyron Smith back at that point, and then we can, go from there. But I look at this season like I look at last season, and I don't have a lot of faith. Let's just put it that way. I don't have a lot of faith.
I understand that because, like with the Colts, I think the Colts have a real good team, but I'm worried about their receiving core is what worries me about them. And then now they lost their punter, but that's not like losing some of the guys Dallas has lost. Damien had a question for you.
No, that's not a question. That's an idiotic statement. No, am I going to bring back Des Bryant? Des Bryant's too damn old, and we all know that. Come on. Next question. He says, how's that old? I just answered that, Anthony Price. See, hey, that's just Anthony Price poking the bear because he knows damn good well our O-line is in shambles. Literally shambles. So, yeah, how's it holding up? It's not. We've got more duct tape and Gorilla Tape on that offensive line than at Lowe's or Home Depot, both having their inventory, okay? What a time to be alive, man. Damn. Hey, real quick, I know we're kind of jumping all around, Gonzo, but, I want to kind of go back to what Frankie was asking earlier. He was talking about Nestor Cortez back when we were talking about injuries and how injuries can ruin a team, and he brought up Nestor Cortez. And if you know anything, Nestor Cortez is now on the IL. He did something. I don't know if he pulled a groin. He did something. I think it was a groin issue that put him on the IL. But he's on the IL now. So, as you know, the Yankees, have been starting to get something rolling with a 3-game win streak. But now, quote unquote, your best pitcher, Nestor Cortez, is on the IL. And as you know, Garrett Cole is struggling with that 3.46 ERA. So, what do you really got? You got a halfway, maybe decent subpar Montas. You got a German or Herman or German or Sermon or whatever his name is, down there, with a halfway decent game. And then you got, the rest of your rotation, your starting rotation, up for grabs. So at this point, having Nestor Cortez on the IL, it's not a bad thing. If it's just a simple groin injury, he'll be out maybe a week or two. He'll be back. It's probably not a bad thing for him, honestly. It gives him time to rest, rejuvenate, and then get into the postseason. So, Gonzo, what do you think, man?
No, it could be a good thing, like you said, getting some rest and then coming into the postseason. So it's going to be interesting. I'm ready for baseball playoffs to start now. I think it's going to be a good playoff this year because you have your favorites. Don't get me wrong, but then you have multiple teams in the National League and American League that are capable of making a run as well. And when you get in these 5-game and 7-game series, you just never know what's going to happen. And a lot of it comes down to who can stay healthy this last month of the season, of the regular season. So it's going to be real interesting to see what happens in Major League Baseball over the next 3-4 weeks.
Tyone, that was the other pitcher there in their rotation. They do have Tyone. So Tyone, is off there. Severino at some point is supposed to come back in their rotation. I don't know the exact date. I think Stanton is also trying to make a comeback into their.
I think Stanton's coming back today.
Is he coming back today? I knew he was pretty damn close to coming back.
I know earlier in the week they were talking like he was going to be back on Thursday.
Right. And again, the Yankees I think they're going to be fine going into the postseason. But they are going to have questions once they get into the postseason when it comes to teams like Seattle or possibly even Toronto if they face them, because again, they're going to be getting pitchers hopefully back off the IL by that point, and you got to wonder how are they going to be playing? How is this team mental makeup going to look? What's their momentum going to look like going into it? There's a lot of what else, and of course he talks about. Again, Zach Britton is coming back in like a week. I saw that where he had a pretty good minor league rehab assignment there, Frankie, on Britton. So again, with these Yankees, the mental state is up in the air. The momentum is up in the air. Who their starting rotation is going to look like is going to be up in the air. And can they pull it all together in time, chemistry-wise, cohesion-wise, to be ready for this postseason, Gonzo?
Yeah. I don't know. I think getting them a couple wins over the last couple of days though against the Mets could help change their momentum. But it's going to be interesting to see if they can get that momentum that they had over the first half of the season back because over the first half of the season they were playing some real good baseball, and then got right around the All-Star break, and since they've struggled some. But they did. Hey, they did get a win against a good pitcher in Max Scherzer. Then they were able to actually and get another win against Walker. So I mean, they did get two big wins back to back. But we'll see if that can. And then if they get Stanton back today, we'll see if that can carry over into some positive momentum to try to finish out this last 3-4 weeks of the season.
So Britain obviously is coming off Tommy John surgery, and we've seen what Tommy John surgery did for, the likes of, again, Verlander. We know that Bueller's going through a second Tommy John surgery. So Britain could look pretty good coming off that Tommy John. If what they're saying about Tommy John's surgery really holds up, that could be a good thing for those guys. It's amazing to see Frankie so upbeat about the Yankees. Not even 3 or 4 days ago, he was all but done and looking to be done with the Yankees, to the point where I think he was outside burning his Yankees gear in the backyard, setting off smoke signals to the Astros, saying I give up. But now we got the new refreshed Foxborough Yankee Frankie in the house, and he looks to be very much more upbeat. Having said that, did you catch the Mariners? Kirby opens up with 24 straight strikes.
No, I didn't see that. I was watching Little League baseball last night.
Yeah, and I didn't catch it. I just caught that in the comments on ESPN early this morning, where it talks about George Kirby achieves a rare feat by starting the game with 24 straight strikes. Julio Rodriguez joins the 2020 club. So I guess Rodriguez is starting to come back into form now.
Rodriguez is playing some good ball.
He said my gimmick is on vacation. Love that. But no, I mean, hey, again, there's a lot of, we're seeing a lot of crazy things, a lot of different records being broken. Again, you got Albert Pujols getting close to becoming in the 700 club. You got, the 24 straight strikes. You got Verlander's damn near, was a perfect game before he had to leave that game. Lots of good things are on the horizon for this baseball season as we get ready for the postseason. And Anthony Price, no, Pickett is not going to be the next Joe Burrow. However, I think he'll be a good quarterback in the league based on what I've seen so far from him in the preseason. Again, it is preseason.
I do too. I think he's going to be a good quarterback. I wouldn't go as far as saying he's going to be the next Joe Burrow, but I do think he's going to be. I think he's going to be a pretty good starting quarterback in the NFL.
Frank is going to be the next Johnny Manziel. I don't think. Hey, look, you got to be pretty bad to go down to that level. God, Manziel, I was so. What you know? What that just every time I hear about Johnny Manziel and and I remember Johnny U and what he meant for his team. And then where he actually wound up becoming, it just pisses me off because I felt like he had all the talent and then just wasted it,
Yep.
What a time to be alive. And can stop trying to hit home runs to play. Yeah, I think the Yankees do need to get more back into contact baseball rather than always trying to sink, the next grand slam or walk-off. I think if they just play contact baseball, that could help their on-base percentage out from 300 and possibly get up to around the 500 range, which then would get them back into more games. You know what I'm saying? If you got players on base, then you have an opportunity to win games.
Yes. Yeah, but the problem is just not the Yankees either. You see a lot of teams like that the teams are so worried about the damn home run anymore that they leave so many runs on the bases because they get guys on and just get stranded all the time. Because nobody's swinging for contact anymore.
I just don't understand, how baseball got away from the short game and they concentrate so much on the long game. Like you don't even see guys bunting anymore. I mean, the bunt used to be such a big part of advancing, runners into scoring position and things like that, that the art of the bunt has just gone by the wayside to a point where even I've seen the Astros try to bunt a couple of times and it was horrible.
Yeah. And that's what kills me. Teams won't try to bunt all season, and then they get in the playoffs, and then they'll try to do sacrifice bunts to move runners over, and then people will complain, well, you couldn't lay down a bunt. Well, no shit. He hasn't tried the bunt one time in 162 games. Now you want to do it in the playoffs?
Yeah. And in all honesty, bunting the ball is just as much of an art form
It's
as
not
it
as
is
easy as
hitting a
people
home
think
run.
it is. People think, oh, you just hold the bat out there. No, it's not. It's not that simple.
No.
For one, the ball's coming at you at 100 miles an hour, and you got
Yeah.
this little bat that's what 4 or 5 inches thick.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing. And it's not even just making contact, it's being
getting
able
to
to
where you
place
want it
the
to
ball
go.
on the field, where, it goes, hopefully it goes, down the baseline or as close to the baseline as possible to keep, the pitcher or the third baseman from getting it to where you have to rely on hopefully the catcher. But if it's far enough, you're quick enough, you should be able to get on. I mean, there's a lot of sciences to bunting, right? Because again, now with the shift, now if you could bunt away from the shift, that could even get you on base. And I've seen that a couple of times. I believe it was either the Oakland A's that did it to us or it was the Angels. I can't not remember for the life of me, but there was like 2 or 3 bunts into the Astros shift that they couldn't make the play on. And 2 of those bunts actually scored a run off a third. So again, man, it's an art form that I think has just been lost in the game of baseball is the bunt.
Funny. Oh, man, Damian, I wonder about you sometimes, man. They don't steal bases like they used to. Yeah, that's another
they don't.
And you don't see the hit and runs like you used to. You don't see a lot of the strategy that you used to see in baseball anymore until the postseason. And then teams and fans want to know why they can't execute. And it's like, well, you haven't tried to execute this style of baseball in a 162 game season, but now you're in the playoffs, and let's change the way we play.
Right.
And that philosophy makes no sense.
Yeah, again, there's a lot of baseball. There's a lot of strategy in the game of baseball that has gone away. And I feel like we are so damn trying to get the long ball, that we've lost a lot of the strategy that makes up what baseball is. You know what I mean? It's just it's sad. It's sad to see a lot of it has gone by the wayside.
And then now they're talking about banning the shift.
Yeah, I don't understand why you're banning the shift. Again, I think that just takes away from the strategy of the head coach. That what you're doing is just I there's a lot of things with baseball that I don't quite understand. The one thing I would like to see them implement is 2 things. We've already kind of talked about them putting in the electronic ump because of the constant shifting of the strike zone player to player with umps. But also, it would be nice to see them put in a pitch clock to kind of speed up the game a little bit, you know what I'm saying, to keep the pitchers on track.
Why bunt the ball to get 1 or 2?
Oh, Lord. Damian, you are not a student of the game of baseball, I can tell. Okay. It's okay, though. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. Okay. Well, let me just give you let me give you the quick breakdown. The percentage of hitting a home run is much lower than the percentage, if you know how to bunt, than bunting, which gets you those 1 or 2 runs. Again, on-base percentage goes down when you're trying to only hit home runs. On-base percentage goes up when you're trying to make contact. Let that sink in. Let it marinate on it. Go do some more research.
And the argument makes no sense because most home runs are solo home runs that score 1 run. So
yeah,
you're scoring. Yeah, don't make no sense. Like you have to have guys on base for a home run to mean a lot because a solo home run's a solo home run.
Right. And again, baseball should be about on-base percentage. If your on-base percentage is great and your ERA is low, then that's going to facilitate wins. But if your on-base percentage is low because you're either popping out, lining out, whatever, trying to hit the long ball, or striking out trying to hit the long ball, then how you're going to win games that way. So anyway, long story short, random question: you think in baseball the refs are calling bad calls just to speed the game up? That's a good question. We have seen some crazy calls in the game of baseball. But again, I've also seen when they do make those bad calls matter of fact, there was one last night in the Astros and Twins game where I believe it was Altuve that was trying to make a steal. They called him safe. They went back and reviewed it, and he was actually out. So I think even if there were bad calls, they're using that replay now to correct those bad calls. Oh yeah, no, chase rate percentage is important. And again, you know, the Yankees struggled with that chase percent for a long time. But I know, to Frankie's point, Judge has definitely reduced his chase rate. I don't know about Stanton reducing his chase rate because he's been on the IL for a hot minute. So we're gonna have to wait and see, you know, when he comes back, how his chase rate looks. Astros have a really good chase rate. They don't chase the ball too often, and there's a lot of, and I don't think the Dodgers or the Mets even chase the ball too much. But again, that's interesting, man. Do I think it'll speed up the game? I don't think they're trying to speed up the game that way, but I do think a pitch clock on the pitcher could speed up the game a little bit more.
You think they'll ever go to the rule that they're doing that they do in like Little League baseball? And they could, I think they might have done it in some minor leagues where the batter can't step out of the box. Like in between pitches, you can step 1 foot out of the box, but you can't walk all the way out of the box and all that and then get back in the box. You have to keep 1 foot in the box. On time, you can step out of the box like if a runner's coming, but in between pitches, if you want to step out, you step 1 foot out and you get time for a second, but you can't go completely out of the box. You think MLB might try that as a thing to help?
Yeah, they could. In an effort to speed up the game, they could. Do I want to see them do that? I don't know, man, because I think sometimes the batter needs to step out of the box, kind of recollect himself, think about, you know, what pitch, you know, the pitcher might be thinking about throwing, maybe throw the pitcher off his game a little bit. I mean, there's a lot of nuances for the batter to step out of the box in terms of, you know, the actual progression of the series of bats. So I don't know. I kind of want to keep it the way that is because again, we've lost a lot of the strategy in the game of baseball. That's one of the few things left that's still strategic. Again, the pitchers do the same thing, right? So I don't know, man, guys. I think I'm okay with that. Maybe you're allowed to step out. Maybe they can limit the amount of times in an at-bat that he can step out. Maybe he's only allowed 1 or 2 step outs and that's it. Maybe they could do it that direction.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I hope they don't change. I like baseball kind of like how it is, other than some of the strategies has been taken out. But as much as they focus on wanting to speed up the game, I could see them trying something like that just to try to speed the pace up. But I agree, it takes strategy out because sometimes you want to step out because you want to try to change the pitcher's pace to try to get him out of his rhythm. So the strategy both ways, just like you said, sometimes the pitcher will step off the mound and restart the signs and everything to kind of just break the momentum break the momentum and the pace that the game's going, especially if it's going against them. So, I mean, there is strategy to that. So, I mean, to me, I don't want to see it really go anywhere, but with that pitch clock coming, I could see, since they're doing something to the pitcher to speed up, I could see maybe they do something with the batters like that, where they'll try to speed up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and a lot of that is when the batters do that, it also prevents the pitchers from getting into a rhythm. I think the last thing you want to do is see a pitcher get his command right or get his rhythm right, you know, and then that makes it harder to hit off of. So, again, it's a lot of strategy in that process.
Anthony Price, would you like to see a longer baseball season? No, I actually think they could take about long. I think they play 162. I think they could cut that down to about 125 games. And it'd be good. Cut about 35 to 40 games off the season, play like 125, 130 games. And I think that would be plenty. I don't think you need 162. And I definitely don't think you need more.
I think the damn season is long enough. I mean, it's going all the way into freaking November. So no, I think the season itself is plenty long enough. If, like you said, if anything, I think maybe you shave off about 10 or 20 games, you know. But again, if you start shaving off those games, then it makes some of these home run records or strikeout records or whatever, you know, it starts affecting that kind of stuff. So I don't know, man. I almost kind of want to be careful about taking away, but I'm certainly not going to add to.
Now, I do agree with Frankie on this. I like the way the schedule changed for next year where everyone plays everyone. I think
like
that's
that.
awesome. And you play less division games now. And I think playing less division games is a good thing because of this. Because the teams that are in a weak division, they can get their record kind of padded a little bit because they played them teams more than they played better teams.
And I think what he's saying is Frankie Pride and the other guys that have basically said the Astros are where they are because they're in a weak division, it basically negates that bullshit. So I don't want to hear no more. Well, Jay, you're in a weak division, and that's why you're in the playoffs. No, because next year we'll be playing everybody. So now, again, you cannot say that to me anymore.
Well, I like it because it evens the schedule out more, Ro. You know what I mean?
It does. Absolutely. Hey, real quick. So, Shaquille Griffin, that plays for the Seahawks, his brother Shaquem, if you don't know who Shaquem is, he's also the brother that has the amputated hand, but also played in the NFL for quite some time, has now retired from football, I guess, to pursue other avenues. But how incredible is it to try to play the linebacker position, number one? Number two, make it to the NFL with only one damn hand. Most people can't make it with two hands and steroids, and you're making it with one hand. So, I mean, that's incredible. And I just want to say congratulations to a good career and a way to overcome your disability and still be able to produce at a high level.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, dude. Yeah, he was a hell of a player.
Oh, Frankie. Look, our division might be ass, but we still beat your ass. What a time to be alive. Oh, Frank. No, Damon asked off topic about the MMA fight between Morales and Johnson. I know this is right up your alleyway, Chris. I'm still kind of learning some of this MMA stuff myself. What do you think about Morales or Johnson?
I didn't know there was a fight this weekend. That's what I'm looking up right now. I looked the other day. I didn't think there was a fight till I think next weekend.
I don't know though, Frankie. Hey, Seattle did beat the Yankees. I'm just saying. Now the A's and the Angels. Okay, I'll give you that. But Seattle, Houston, you got to kind of give me that one too. And the Rangers. The Rangers have been ass for a long time. So yeah, 3 out of the 5 are ass. No doubt about it.
I don't even see the Morales and Johnson fight on here. I think Morales will win, but I don't. When do they fight? Because I'd like to watch it. I don't even see it on here.
So I don't know. When it comes to baseball, I don't mind 8 or 9 games in a row. I mean, because it's not like the pitcher is playing the same game every single day. There is a rotation for that. And let's be honest, man. Baseball is not like football or basketball or soccer or even hockey where, you're consistently running and running and running. Those guys are out there. They have a stagnant position and they react when they get the baseball, but it's not a continuously moving sport. So I don't think it's as bad. But I understand where you're coming from. But at the same time, I'm okay with 8 or 9 games. I think you have to go 8 or 9 games in order to get that many games in to that small window of 162 games. You've got to damn near play like that. I don't think you can afford to take that many days off. Otherwise, I think you would expand the season all the way out until late December if you were having those kinds of days off.
Okay, yeah, okay. I see where it's at. It's on that one. Yeah, I like Moraz, but I think it will be a good fight. I'll probably try to watch that Saturday.
It's the game Saturday?
Or Friday, I mean, tomorrow, Friday.
Oh, he said it's streaming on Amazon Prime tomorrow, too. Interesting. Okay. Hey, Frankie, you know what? I'm not going to disagree with you, but it's not how you start the race. It's how you finish it. And right now, at the end of the day, it's all how we finish. I'm not saying the Yankees aren't going to finish strong, but at the same time, I'm not saying that Seattle's not finishing strong either. So I don't know, man. We're going to handle it in the playoffs. When we get to postseason, hey, we're going to find out when what cream rises and what cream, doesn't.
The Reds are going to beat all you guys and win the world and go on a World
Series. Hey, that's what I'm talking about, guys. So keep the faith, baby. Don't ever lose that faith. And then while you're at it, call your pops up and give your pop some of that faith so he don't go and be a Dodgers fan. Yes. That's a good damn question. Are we going to stream the fantasy league draft tomorrow? I'll get with Logan tonight, and we'll have a powwow on that. So yeah, that might be an option.
What time is the draft tomorrow?
The draft tomorrow is going to be, I believe, at 6 p.m. Eastern.
Okay, yeah, it's at 6.
Have that, and I can get that answer.
Yeah, it's right because it was at 6. So I said it'll be the same time I'm doing my Colts show, but
yeah, he still has it set up for 6 p.m. tomorrow night.
Yep, that's what Frankie just said too, was 6. Okay.
Man, what a time to be alive. What a time to be alive. Jeez, man, I can't wait to get this going. Man, I'm more excited to see who the hell's going to get within the top 5 picks. I got to be honest with you. Last time, I think when we had 12, I think it was 12 teams is what we had last year.
When
and
did we know the draft order?
Number 7.
When will we find out the draft order?
That's a damn good. I think it's usually right before. I think it's usually like the day before. It should be. You know what? I would not be surprised if it turns out to be tomorrow, right before the draft. I want to, because I don't think we found out last year until right before the draft. I think it was like literally like a couple hours before the draft. I found out where I was drafting, and I was so pissed. Oh damn! Let me reach out to Logan and find that question out.
Yeah. In our draft.
What's
last Sunday, I got Jonathan Taylor with my first pick. And then we have the other draft for another league coming up too. I think it's Saturday. It might be tomorrow night as well. Saturday. I don't know. I'll be doing my Colts show while I'm doing the draft with you guys, so I'll be on my phone drafting.
You're going to be a very busy man tomorrow, Chris.
Yep.
Hey, make sure you guys check out the Unscripted show tonight at 7 Eastern. Hopefully, I will have an answer for you as to if we're going to do the thing live or not. Most likely, we possibly may try to do it live, but we'll let you know.
It's going to be different doing 20 teams because it's going to come down to what players that aren't real well-known players yet you get who gets to play. Well, not who gets the players that are not well-known that have the best seasons. That's who's going to come down to win because you're not going to have a lot of loaded teams just because there's so many teams in it.
Yeah. So, Frankie, the reason why Logan gave 30 seconds in between picks is because with 20 people, that many rounds, if we had it like a minute, we would be here for hours drafting. So 30 seconds is just, enough time to hit the button. Let's be honest. With 20 damn teams, you should already kind of have an idea of at least 5 players that comes around when you pick. You should already have an idea. If that clock comes due at 20 picks later and you still don't know who you want, you ain't never going to know. Yeah.
30 seconds, that is going to be a little quick.
But again, I think if it's like 10 rounds, that's like, God, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be absolutely nuts. But again, I like it because you know what? It's going to see who is the cream of the crop when it comes to fantasy football. You're either going to rise or you're going to fall. Hey, if you want an easy league, go join the beginners club. You're in the expert round, baby. Go join the beginners club if you want that minute and a half in between picks. He said NFL scout style. No, man. Hey, it's going to be great. Man, guys, I'm flared up for tomorrow. Until I mentioned it now, I almost forgot how close we were to the draft. I didn't realize the 2026 was right up on us.
Yep. Oh, yeah. I got wrestling show this weekend on Sunday. And the Saturday, I'm doing a watch along for the bare knuckle. You ever watch any of that bare knuckle fighting, dude? That stuff's crazy.
I've seen a couple.
I love watching that stuff. That stuff's crazy.
Anthony Price, I agree. I've never played in a league that had 20 people, but at the same time, Anthony, We're gonna see who has the best strategy, right? So we're gonna see who's the best. Okay, so yeah, 20 is a lot. I don't think you typically see that, but at the same time, nobody's gonna have a stacked team, right? Nobody's gonna have a stacked team. So you're gonna have to really do your research as to who you're drafting when you get there. It's going to be good, man. Hey, just give it time. Let it sink in. It's going to be great.
If I don't pick top 10 in the draft, I'm dropping out.
No, you're not. No, you're not. I'm telling you, hey, look, you know what? I drafted 7 in a 12-man league, took 3 weeks off, and still finished in the top 2. Was in a championship game against Brady Tinker. Damn, Brady Tinker, he got me at the end. And he only got me by a little bit, but he got me. Yeah, no. Hey, you know what though? Hey, that's exactly what it's going to be like. Round 2, we're like, damn, where do we go from here?
Mexico and Curacao getting ready to play Little League to see who advances to championship game. On
at what time? That plays at what, 7:00 tonight?
I'm not sure. Yeah. Texas plays at 7.
Yeah, that's what time we played last night. Okay,
against Tennessee.
Tennessee.
I think Texas will win tonight.
Huh?
I think Texas will win tonight. I think we're going to see a rematch of Texas and Hawaii.
Oh, it's going to be interesting though, that Texas-Hawaii game. I mean, and nobody tried to discount what Hawaii is. Hawaii is like the big powerhouse. But I always love an underdog, a good underdog, and Texas appears to be that underdog.
Yeah, I've never seen the team dominate the Little League World Series like Hawaii's doing this year. It's crazy.
Yeah, they just have a hell of a good offense,
and didn't have a hell of a pitching staff too. It's just nuts. You usually don't see that at the Little League level all on one team. I think next year I'm going to try to go to Pennsylvania and at least watch a game. I might try to go on the championship weekend and watch like the United States Championship and the International Championship, and then watch the World Series Championship that Sunday. I've been wanting to go and always say I'm going to go. I think I'm going to finally just do it. Quit talking about it.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Man, I was just thinking like how many make or break seasons are in this NFL. I mean, there's a lot of quarterbacks that literally are on break seasons.
I mean, you got Baker.
You got Baker, you got Tua, you got Jones over in New York.
Jalen Hurts.
Oh. You got to imagine that Zach Wilson's over there. You know, I mean, he hasn't played a whole lot, but he's still got to be on that level of, well, what do we really have in him? You know,
yeah. Well, he's hurt right now. He got hurt in that preseason.
Damn.
Yeah,
Terrell Owens ran a 4.3840.
Yeah.
At 48 years old.
Oh no, that's crazy.
Damn, son. I guess he still has some speed left in that old body of his after all, huh? Holy crap, at 48? Are you kidding me?
I knew he was in good shape, but I didn't think he was still in that good of shape.
Damn, son. That's just stupid. I mean, seriously, that's just for a guy who's almost 50 and you're still running better than some guys are running at the combine. Yeah, whoever's drafted 20 is going to suck win. Well, if you're drafted 20, most likely I would probably be taking my quarterback and my wide receiver at that point. And then see where you go from there. God, it's going to be crazy.
Oh yeah, it's going to be interesting to see people's strategies since there's 20 teams.
And I'll bet you, knowing my luck, Gonzo, I'll be the son of a bitch drafted 20. I don't know. Every time I do a league like that with Logan and them, I usually either get in the middle or I get at the end. Very rarely do I ever get within the top 3 picks. I don't think I've ever gotten that.
I was a 3rd pick in our draft this year. Last year, I think I was like 4th. The year before that was like 7th. It's a 10-team league. He said if he gets 20, he's just go. Frankie just go let do auto draft.
He gonna have a team full of kickers. I got like 7 kickers, guys. Who wants a kicker? I need a wide receiver. But then again, in a 20-team league, that's where I expect to see some trades happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would expect to probably see a couple of trades, left and right to kind of equal it out a little bit. So, it's going to be interesting to see how that all plays. And then I get all the IR players. Oh, man, that would be horrible to get IR players. Jeez Louise, man. Damn. God, Jonathan Taylor, just let me get number 1. Just let me get number 1.
Yeah, I got Jonathan Taylor as my main running back. I ended up with Tom Brady as my quarterback.
And that's what it is, right? So I think picks 1 through 10, maybe even 1 through 15, they go pretty quick because there'll be good players there. I think once you get closer down to pick 20, that 30 seconds, starts to become a factor because now you're really having to dig deep of, okay, the best available, positional needs, so forth. And you start thinking about, which way do I go,
Yep.
Uh-oh, guys. Hold on a minute now. Let's see here. So it looks like draft order is going to be a snake. We kind of already figured that out. It's going to be 30 seconds, standard format, draft time 6, draft day on Friday live. It does not give an order though. It doesn't say the order. So I'm not sure exactly when the order will come out. I would imagine the order will come out probably an hour or so before the draft. I would have to imagine. And it could even come out at the draft, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I guess we're gonna have to all be on surprise. Let's see. Hold on.
Anthony Price said that he'd take Henry over Taylor if he had first pick.
Wow, Anthony Price. Why? Why would you take? And I'm not just. Hey, look, I understand Henry's a good running back. You're not necessarily wrong. I think he's probably number 2. But why would you take him over Jonathan Taylor, given the year that Jonathan had last year? Why would you do that? I don't know. I guess that's that.
Well, I think Taylor's going to have another great year too, because the Colts I think are trying to run the ball a lot as well because we're not the best at the wide receiver position.
Okay, so we're not going to do a show on Friday. Logan's got something to do, so we're just going to do what we are going to do is we're going to do a draft recap on Saturday. So Saturday we're going to kind of talk about how everybody drafted and what the expectation is going to be like for the league coming up. So we'll do a draft recap on Saturday.
All right. So we'll find out the draft order tomorrow.
Yeah. So that's what I'm. So.
All right. Dude's dancing. Oh, I love this little league, man. They kill me. Hopefully, this team from Mexico can win today and make it to the international championship game and get a rematch with Chinese Taipei.
Yeah, you're watching the Mexico Curacao right now, right?
Yep, it's just now getting ready to start.
Yeah. Okay, I got you. Oh, Frankie said he's going to get the draft order. He said, hold on. So that's fine. We'll see. Because so let me ask you this again. Gonzo, you're drafting 17. Not saying that. What I'm saying is if you're drafting 17 and Obviously, by 17, all the good running backs are off the board. There's not going to be a running back left. Maybe you get some second stringers, maybe running back by committees. Maybe you get a Tony Pollard or something of that nature, right? Or a Kareem Hunt. I don't know, whatever, second in the committee there. Are you still taking running back, or are you going best available at wide receiver and or quarterback? Or do you are you looking elsewhere? What are you doing at 17 if you're in that situation?
Probably gonna go best available.
I think you have to, don't you? Because you still got to make points some kind of way. And what's a backup running back going to give you if you pass up on a good talented, maybe a Michael? I'm just using maybe a Jalen Waddle or Tyreek Hill.
If you can't get a good running back, you at least want to get one of the top receivers.
Yeah, exactly. I think you're looking at how can I still maximize some points out of this situation. Man, it's gonna be a lot. God,
hey, did you see that? Did you see that kid in Little League yesterday throwing 102? Well, he's throwing 78 miles an hour, which is equivalent to like 102 in major league level. Dude was firing the ball, man, and for a strike, his control was just crazy. He was on that carousel, or on this carousel team that's playing now. In their game yesterday, the pitcher they pitched was throwing 78 miles an hour.
That's and if that at 78 miles an hour, correct me if I'm wrong, but at 78 miles an hour at the given distance to the plate, it's the same as for an MLB guy throwing from 90 miles an hour from 90 feet away, correct?
No, it'd be 102 miles an hour.
So the effect of a 78 mile an hour pitch from the distance at which they're pitching is going to seem like or feel like the pitch is at 100.
Yes.
Damn, coach.
They pitch from 46 feet. Major league pitchers pitch from 60.
So it says right here, the draft order will be randomized before the draft. So what I'm going to think off of this, that most likely, it says, note that the commissioner can alter, if he does that, I'm going to kick his ass. Note that the commissioner can alter the draft order prior to your draft time. No, whatever it comes out, you better leave that crap alone.
I'm calling collusion already. If Logan gets the number one pick, I'm calling collusion.
Oh, man. Hey, let me tell you something about Unscripted. We are very professional, man. Whenever that draft order comes out, we're going to roll with it. Because I will tell you, man, when I put a jersey on the line, it will be a fair fight for it. So if I'm at number 17.
Draft orders will come up, and the whole Unscripted crew are going to have the top 5 picks, and all the fans are going to be, what the hell just happened?
What the hell? I call bullshit. Yeah, man. Hey, what a time to be alive, though. But for real, man. Yeah, man. I'm just ready for college to start. I'm ready to see, Alabama, if they're able to go back and get another title, if Georgia's able to repeat, or if we can get a new team up in there to battle it out for that title, right?
Yeah, well, we have a game this Saturday in college football, and then after that, it really starts kicking off. So it's going to be. I'm ready for just football. Period. College, NFL, and then you only got like a month. The NBA will be back, and you'll have the baseball playoffs as well. So it's starting to get in that busy time again of where all the sports are coming back.
So 2 questions, Gonzo. Who do you think is the best fantasy tight end?
I like Kelsey.
Yeah, for me it's a 3-way tie between Kelsey, Andrews, and Waller, because you know that Lamar Jackson loves to throw the ball just as much to Andrews as Mahomes does to Kelsey, and Waller is also a good target for Derek Carr. But now that they got Devontae Adams, I think that's going to eat into some of Darren Waller's touches. So, yeah, I think Kelsey, I think Kelsey's probably still number 1. If you can't get a Travis Kelsey, then you try to get a Mark Andrews and then so forth. I think you try to get a Waller after that, and then possibly a Kittle's. Would be my fourth option if I, and then again, people are going to do this all the time, and I hope they do. I hope they overlook a Dalton Schultz, because I'm going to snag up Dalton Schultz if he's out there too, because he's a really good security blanket for that.
Yeah, and in fantasy, you got to be careful with Kittle, because Kittle gets injured a lot.
Yeah, that's absolutely. And again, okay, so if that's your tight ends, then I'm gonna ask you, who's your fantasy wide receiver?
Ooh. Man, I like Jefferson.
Yeah.
Chase. Hopkins, you can't really put up there because he's going to miss 6 games. Trying to think. Oh, man. Names are. That's crazy. Names aren't coming to my head. Other wide receivers: Jefferson, Chase. Maybe somebody off Kansas City, because Mahomes is going to try to get the ball out. Evans and Godwin from Tampa Bay are usually been good ones to get.
Yeah,
Brady. Oh no, what you got a receiver?
First of all, just so we're tracking, it looks to be that the draft order will be randomized 30 minutes before the draft. Okay. So it's going to be literally a draft game time decision. I can promise you that Unscripted will in no way have any say-so as to who drafts where. It will be completely randomized as to make sure that the league integrity is intact. Having said that, I don't know. I got Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, Cooper Kupp.
Right in there, because I know that relationship that he has with Matt Stafford, and let's be honest,
Devontae Adams.
I think Devontae is going to be in there. Again, Justin Jefferson will be in there. Jamar Chase certainly will be in there. I think those are probably my guys. Yeah. If I had to say, I would probably say Chase. I would say Jefferson, Cooper Kupp will be in there. Devontae Adams will be in there. I think those are my. I think those are my 4. I think those are my 4, and I think everything after that kind of can go anywhere. I think there's going to be a lot of really damn good wide receivers out there beyond those that are going to be just as valuable, like an Adam Thielen, a DK Metcalf. Well, I would say DK Metcalf for Tyler Lockett if Wilson was there, but now that Geno Smith or Locke is there, I think that really diminishes their value. Maybe Amari Cooper, how well he pans out with in Cleveland. I think you got to look over at what do you call it? The Saints, and look at an Olave probably having a breakout season as a rookie. Or Michael Thomas, if he can stay healthy, or even Landry, depending, because sometimes Michael Thomas can get doubled up and leave Landry open for big things. So there's going to be a lot of really good wide receivers out there. Again, a Stephon Diggs, right? Stephon Diggs will be out there as well. So there's going to be a lot of really good mid-range wide receivers that will keep us all, in the mix. I think wide receivers is going to be the easiest spot to draft at. That's why I'm not so overly concerned about that spot as much as I am, obviously, with running back. Running back is going to be the hardest position to draft. Quarterback, you can still get a good quarterback even later in the rounds. Tight ends are going to be hard because there's only a select few. I think tight ends is probably going to be the most crucial position to draft at, because again, there's only a limited number of really productive tight ends that get you anything. After that, you kind of get into that barren wasteland. So I think once you get beyond the big 4, maybe even big 5, if you put Gesicki in there from Miami, I think you got maybe 5 really good tight ends. that are out there that you can pick from. Maybe 6 if you look at what's his name from that just got picked up over there with Tampa, because we know that Brady likes to do the short mid-range passes to the tight end. So I think the tight ends will be kind of valuable over there in Tampa. So that could be a thing over there for you as well. So I think those are kind of where you're looking at. I think tight end is going to be hard to draft. Running back is going to be hard to draft, and especially if you're drafting down there at 20. Those are going to be the bigger positions to look at. That's just my opinion. To the point where I think if I'm drafting at 20, let me ask you this, Gonzo. If you're drafting at 20 and you know the tight end spot, is a hard spot to get, if a Mark Andrews is there or or even a Dalton Schultz, an Andrews, a Schultz, or even a Waller, I think Kelsey's going to be gone before then. But if you get a Waller, an Andrews, or a Schultz at 20, I think I take a chance, and I think I take a tight end there, and then I come back and wrap it around with whatever best wide receiver is there. That way I at least shore up my tight end spot, and I can get a really good wideout. I should be able to get a good wideout at that spot, and then I can you're going to have to wait and see what comes back next go around. Maybe next go around I try to grab a tight end and a running back or tight end receiver, something like that,
Yep. No, I agree. It's gonna be interesting with 20 teams. I'm excited just to see kind of how it plays out, because like I said, this will be my first time in a 20-team league, so it's going to be interesting.
That's funny. Hey, what did he? Hey, hold on. Hey, so if Anthony Price says if Logan gets number 1, I'm emailing the NFL fantasy IT people. And then Damien goes on to say he's going to draft Hollywood Brown out of Arizona. And then Anthony Price says, yeah, tight end and running back and defense. The thing, I'm with you on the tight end. I'm even with you on the running back. I don't know if I'm so much going to, at number 20, going to draft a defense, because I still feel like there's, defense. Nobody drafted defense until maybe, around 6, 7, 8, or 9. I mean, somewhere down in there. So I think you got plenty of opportunities to still grab that number 1 defense, but it's going to be those positional players that's really going to be damn difficult, right?
Yeah.
What a time to be alive, Gonzo. What a time to be alive, brother.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be fun because your strategy is gonna have to be a lot different than what it would be in like a 10-team league.
Yeah, and then and I think some people may even overlook DeAndre Swift, the running back from out of Detroit. That's with Detroit.
Yeah, he's gonna be ready to eat some kneecaps.
Man, oh man! Hey, listen. Hey, I get what you're saying. I definitely do. Damn, Joe Burrow. I wonder where Burrow goes. How high Burrow goes up in the draft order. So right now, I'm looking at some of the cheat sheets that are out there, and some of the busts that they have is going to be beyond believe it or not, is DeAndre Swift they have as a bust. They also have Saquon Barkley as a bust. David Montgomery even, which is, I don't know if I agree with David Montgomery, but they say he's going to be a bust. And then they got some sleepers as Antonio Gibson, J.K. Dobbins from the Ravens, which I could see that being a sleeper. And then Damian Harris out of the Patriots. I could see that one. Miles Sanders. I don't know if Miles Sanders is going to be a sleeper. I think he'll do quite well, actually, with them. Rashad Penny out of the Seahawks. They're saying overweighted wide receivers will be Tyreek Hill, DK Metcalf, DJ Moore, Marquise Brown, Jerry Jeudy. Man, that's what a time to be alive. Yeah. They're even putting Adam Thielen in there. I don't think Thielen – I don't know, Devontae Smith, Robert Woods, Christian Kirk, Kadarius Toney with the Giants. I can see that one. Marquez Valdez-Scantling with the Chiefs. Devontae Parker with the Patriots.
Frankie said there's no good running back available during his time. If he's low, he's getting a quarterback and pissing everyone off.
Hey, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing either. I think, again, if there's no good running back available, then you have to kind of start looking at what other positional player is going to get you points, because you're still going to get points. And so I think you are. I think you're looking at quarterback. I think you're looking at wide receiver. If Kelsey, for God forbid, if Kelsey's still on the board, maybe looking at Kelsey. Just depending on who's there. Because at that point, I think you're just trying to get as many points as you can, and then you'll live and die with whatever else is out there in the barren wasteland, right? So it's going to be interesting. I'm telling you right now, there's going to be a lot of running back by committee guys that are going to be out there, and it's going to come down to who has a bit of wideouts.
It's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to it. I'm ready for the season to start. All right. Well, you got anything else, Jay? You ready to get to the final thoughts?
Oh, yeah. We can rack up some final thoughts, and then I'm going to have to go to the liquor store.
What she do? She didn't leave you enough of the little bottles?
And listen. Much is my life as a little bottle. And no, she did not leave me nowhere near enough. Yeah, man.
Jay said, man, this is like having a little Dixie cup. Come on now.
I said, what'd you do? Go to Sam's to get the sampler? Hey, that's my life, though, man. Damn. No, I guess my final thought would be Pearland. I got enough time to get in Pearland. Well, no, I guess I'll be watching Pearland when Unscripted is on tonight, because Unscripted goes on at 7. The game's at 7. So yeah, man. Hey, we'll be watching Pearland while Unscripted is going out tonight. So that even makes me more excited for the show tonight. What a time to be alive. And
if you're a baseball fan, or if you haven't checked out the Little League Baseball right now, there's on ESPN this Mexico and Curacao game. It's going to be, I expect, a real close game. It's 0-0 in the second inning. It's going to be a good one. And then, like Jay said, tonight at 7, that's going to be a fun game to watch. These little kids, they can play ball, and it's entertaining to watch.
Yeah. Again, man, hey, shout out to Little League players. Again, that's where the future starts for baseball, and then, they graduate and go to college and high school ball and things like that. So it's just great to watch Little League ball, because it is baseball at its purest form. There's no money. There's no contract disputes. There's no egos and things like, well, there might be a little bit of egos, because little kids have egos too. But if there is an ego, it's more a competitive ego than it is, anything else. So yeah, he said, fuck Haley, whatever. You're just mad because New York's not in there. Shut your mouth. He said final thoughts, not final topics. My final thought is this: the Yankees are not going to make the World Series. Case closed.
Dude, that was
I like that Pearland apples.
Yeah, my final thought is, like I said, if you haven't checked out this Little League, check it out. Check out Unscripted tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern. Like Jay said, the baseball game will be going on at the same time, so I'm sure it'll be a fun time. And I'll be airing a pro wrestling show tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern. It's one that we streamed live last month. We're going to re-air it because that promotion has their show coming up this Sunday. And
nice.
So if you're a wrestling fan, 9 o'clock tonight, check that out. But other than that, we will see you guys tomorrow for another episode of the ASAP Afternoon Blitz. Have a good day.
Pearland!
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we're making up plays. We're talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.
What the heck?